hospital from Sunday and I'm having my surgery on Monday. So there'll be nothing next week, but hopefully the week after we'll be able to bring you more shows. So this is what we do in this program. We basically catch up with everything that's been going on and happening at Pittodrie in the past few days, since basically the last time we were with you. So feel free to jump on board, come and leave your comments. I will read them out as normal. There's plenty to discuss. League Cup group stages, the banning of plastic pitches, those players who have gone on international duty. So there's plenty to chat about. Leave your comments under the main video and I will do my best to read them out. If you're watching for the very first time, how you doing? You're more than welcome to the show. If you want to interact, all we ask is that you are respectful and you do not leave bad language. And also, we do not tolerate if you start having a go at other people on this channel. We want this place to be very much a safe haven. Right, so before we crack on, because we've got a really busy show tonight, Mark Reynolds is on a little bit later with his quick-fire question and answer session, which I really hope you enjoy. Zander Diamond is with us as well, because he's just taken up a new role as Broomhill Football Club's manager. Broomhill play in the Lowland League. It's his first real step into management. Plus, he's also playing in the Cash for Kids charity game in the Craig Brown Cup on Sunday at Cove Rangers. And I'm going to be speaking to event organiser Graeme a little bit later about the charity and about the game as well. So that's all to come. Lots to get through. But before we do any of that, I just want to do some housekeeping. And I think it's vitally important that I acknowledge the support of Gavin Duncan, Keith MacDonald, Baz Strachan, and John Hermsey, who have all recently signed up to the ABTV membership scheme here on YouTube. Guys, I am really, really grateful for your support. If you can get in touch with me personally, I would be delighted. Just drop me a DM and then I would like to get back in touch with you and just thank you on a personal level. The membership scheme is basically where you can contribute a very small financial sum every month to this channel, and what we do is we use it to build the channel and improve it. And I hope you've already seen the improvements with the brand new titles which we saw at the top of the show. Right, so first things first, League Cup, group stages, Group A, of course, and the fixtures are out. Let's check them out for you. So we begin our campaign on Saturday the 13th of July against Queen of the South. It's a 5:15 kickoff. Then we go to East Kilbride the following Saturday. Kickoff there is at 3 o'clock. Then we have two home games. The first one on the Tuesday night, 23rd of July, against Airdrie Onions, who have done really well under Rhys McCabe. Kickoff is at 19:45. And then on Saturday, the 27th of July, we play host to Dumbarton at Pittodrie, and kickoff there is at 3 o'clock. So two away and two home games for us to navigate through Group A. So if you've got anything to say about that, come on and let me know. Right, the big news that came out of Scottish football today was the banning of plastic pitches. So I've got the statement here in front of me from the SPFL. Just let me very quickly read it out to you. So they said Premiership clubs vote to phase out artificial pitches in the SPFL's top flight. Premiership clubs have voted in favour of phasing out the use of artificial pitches in the SPFL top flight. Clubs in the Premiership have brought forward a resolution seeking to phase out artificial pitches in Scotland's top division, which was issued to all Premiership clubs. The SPFL can confirm that the resolution has now passed. The SPFL board has granted a 2-year period to allow clubs with an artificial pitch to plan for the phasing out of artificial pitches in the top tier of Scottish football. So that basically means that Kilmarnock have got 2 years to grow a new football pitch. Personally, I'm delighted. I was never a fan of plastic pitches in the first place. I completely understand why clubs have them because it also helps with the sort of the greater community. But at the end of the day, I don't think top level professional football should be played on artificial surfaces. So if you've got something to say about that, just jump on and let me know. Right, let's just see if there's any of you on already. There's a few of you on. How are we doing? Right. Oh, there's lots of you on, actually. Good. Let's get through some of your comments before we start introducing our guests tonight. The Musical Box is on saying, hey guys. Gavin Wilson has said, hi loons and quines. Graeme Barron has said, good evening Ali and fellow dandies. Hi Graeme, how are you, big man? Baz Strachan is also here. Evening everyone, hope you're all well. Countdown to the Euros and wishing the new season could just start now. Greg Kearney is on. Evening all. Finally, some Don's chat. Been missing it. Thanks, Ali. Nay bother. The Musical Box says, I know what you mean, Baz, but I would like to see the manager arrive and some new players before we start a new season. Richard Mickey McMillan says, great to be back. Come on, you Reds. The Musical Box says, my own surgery is cancelled, as they say I don't need it. Well, I'm hoping, mate, that is really good and positive news. B-Bet is on. How you doing? He says, good evening all. Graham Klein has said, Hoylett linked with Notts County. Right. I want to address that. So, we've got a number of players away on international duty. For the under-21, Scotland under-21s, Conor Barron and more recently Jack Milne was cleared up, which is fantastic for Jack. I'm so happy for him. Other players away with sort of first-team duty is Jamie McGrath, Bojan, Richard Jensen, Slobodan Rubezic, Duke. Now, this is the one that really caught my attention because the football club listed Junior Hoylett as one of their players who is away on international duty for Canada. Now, there's been a lot of talk recently, mainly online, that he had already been released and that he had already signed a deal with Notts County. Now, reading between the lines, why would the football club add his name to that list if he was already gone and a free agent? They just wouldn't. Which makes me think that he's still there. And maybe, just maybe, they're trying to sort something out. Let's see. Dirko38 has said, good evening all. Graham Barron came back to say, can't wait for an interview with Talene on Red TV on Monday, if there is one. Let's get some new faces in at Pittodrie. Ewan Grant has said, good evening, Ali. Hi, Ewan. How are you? Reynolds in his pomp was so classy for us. Strolled through games with ease. I think you'll really enjoy his question and answer session. It was really good fun, apart from his final answer. Paul Donaldson says, evening all. Fairly happy with the League Cup draw, but wouldn't have minded Airdrie away rather than at home. Would have been an easy journey. Of course, you just live around the corner, don't you, fella? Barry Cool wished, good evening, everybody. And he said, it's about time. Graham Barron came back to say, also, we need to get redemption on the East Kilbride manager, as he said the Aberdeen fixture will be a canter. Right, where have you all gone? Okay, there we go. The Musical Box came back to say, I know a few clubs are upset by this ban on plastic pitches, but they aren't in the top flight anyway. Yeah. You and Grant, yeah, okay, you're just responding to each other. That's good. Paul Donaldson has said, don't think I've seen a good match for us at Livingston or Kilmarnock in the past few seasons. Glad about the plastic pitch vote. Dave B says, I agree with getting rid of plastic pitches. It's not as if they have a track record of preventing matches from being postponed. 33 and Turda says, good evening from Dublin. How you doing? Barry Cooler says contract until the 30th of June. Is that that must be Junior, right? So he's contracted until the 30th of June. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Barry. James McCaskill. Hi, James. How are you, pal? Hi, Ali and all. Great news about pitches returning to grass everywhere. This is how football should be played, and also a level playing field rather than having to rest players because of the surface. 100%, mate. The Musical Box says, I hope we can retain Hoylett for another season. I thought he was really classy towards the end of the season. Derek Griffiths is on saying, good evening, Ali. Be interesting when we meet East Kilbride, ex-Darvel manager, and we could put that nightmare to bed. Barry Cooler said, see, we've been linked with a keeper in Serbia. Also, Rangers are interested. What's people's thoughts on McCrory? So he's been linked as a possible replacement for Kelly Roos. Obviously we've had nothing about players' contracts. Absolutely nothing. The Musical Box said, I think plastic pitches are horrible and I'm glad we will not have to deal with them after 2026. I completely agree. Right, let's get back to some content for you. So, on Sunday, there is a very important charity football match being played at Cove Rangers. It is for Cash for Kids, to raise money for that charity. And it's become a hugely popular event in the Aberdeen area over the past few years because it is basically a host of ex-players and a number of fans all playing against each other to raise money for Cash for Kids. So, first and foremost, just let me get the graphic on. So there it is. So the name has been changed to the Craig Brown Cup because obviously Craig was heavily involved. He was one of the managers up until he sadly passed away. So it's at the Balmoral Stadium, 2 o'clock kickoff. I understand that tickets are still available. We'll talk to Graeme in just a moment. So if you can get along, it would be absolutely fantastic. Just have a look at some of the players who are going to be playing. Just look at that. Ian Jess is coming all the way over from Spain. Gavin Ray is coming all the way from Australia to play in the game, which is just phenomenal. I love the fact that a host of the ex-women's team players are playing as well. Lauren Campbell, a guest here on Alibeg AB TV recently. She's going to be playing as well, pulling her boots back on. Thomas Chaney's going to be in goal. They're going to be managed by Willie Garner and Walker McCall. Archie Knox and Drew Jarvie are going to be managing the Scotland team. So, I caught up with organiser Graeme Watt to chat all things charity and all things the football match. Welcome to the show, event organiser Graeme Watt. Graeme, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for jumping on because I fully appreciate how busy you must be ahead of Sunday's game. Right, to start with, for those who are unaware, can you just tell me what is the game in aid of?
So the game is in aid of Cash for Kids. It was over the years. It was called the Cash for Kids Cup. Cash for Kids is a charity that supports children that have difficulties in life, families that families can't even afford a coat, Ali. Yeah. They go that deep into it. They help so many people. They help people with if they've got a disability. They can help them get scooters. Everything. They go from top to bottom, Ali. It's a really great charity, and I'm so proud to support it, and I have done for 6 years now. So yeah.
Okay, right. You've got an incredible list of players who are coming to play, which is just fantastic work, mate. How much are they looking forward to getting their boots on again?
Ali, see, I think some years it's a struggle to get all these guys on board, but this year they've all wanted to do it. Yeah. I think it gets easier each year we do it because they all love it and see how well the year before goes. And this year more than ever, it's just you can see by the lineup. It's just unbelievable. I can't believe it. It's brilliant. It really is.
The fact that you've got folk like Ian Jess coming in from Spain, and you've got lads travelling from all over the country to come and play again, I think speaks volumes for what you're doing, Graeme. I know you're not one for particularly doing this, but you must be very proud.
It's like, see, when I take time to think about it, Ali, it is really one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I'm so proud of it. Yeah. And it's not just me, everyone that's involved behind the scenes is great. I'm the one that goes out and messages the guys, but without the people behind me helping me to do emails and, get the word out and just everything. It's really, really good. I mean, you're talking about players there, Ali. Gavin Ray coming over from Australia. You know what I mean? So
I know.
It's unbelievable. And Gavin messaged me, which was nice.
Oh, really?
And I got really emotional. I got emotional when he emailed me because he said, and I can remember word for word what you said to me. Gavin Ray said, Graeme, I would really appreciate it if I could be involved in this match because Craig Brown meant an awful lot to me. Yeah. And I thought that was brilliant. I said, Gavin, absolutely. That was brilliant, I loved that.
Also the fact that you've changed the name of the trophy as well.
Yes.
To remember Craig Brown, I think is a lovely touch because I know you were very close with him. And obviously, even to this day, he is still very, very sadly missed. And I really hope you get a fantastic turnout on Sunday, not just for the charity, not just for the lads, but also to remember Craig Brown as well. I think that's really important, right?
Do every club in the country has gotten behind the alley and said, listen, we'll send up a jersey. You know, Motherwell, Preston, North End sent a jersey. Ayr United, Clyde. I mean, Clyde sent up a huge banner. You'll remember the Scotland England game, Ali, when they had
Yes.
the big banner at Hampden Park with Craig Brown.
Yes.
That they've sent that banner up for the event, and it's huge.
Really?
Clyde FC sent it up, and it's just, I mean, that's just the people love Craig. They love him, and I mean, he helped me so much, and he was with us from the start. So yeah, and I'm delighted we've called it this.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic touch, mate. And I know
Yeah,
his family will be absolutely thrilled with it as well. Can
yeah.
people still get tickets for Sunday?
They can, Ali, but we're very close to having a full gate at Cove Rangers Stadium.
Brilliant.
I mean, you were talking about attendance there. It's huge. We sold over 1,000 so far, so
Okay.
it's a record breaking crowd already before we've even kicked the ball, Ali. So it's looking like it'll be a really really big one.
Brilliant. Are you getting your boots on?
We are, yeah, we're getting the boots on. I was talking with Steve Tosh yesterday, who's also coming along. He said, Graeme, I've not kicked the ball in about 8 years. I says, well, you're more than welcome here, and he's delighted. So he's looking forward to it as well.
Well, Graeme, listen, mate, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day on Sunday.
Thanks,
I hope
Ali.
you raise lots and lots of money for the Cash for Kids charity as well. And maybe we can catch up again in the next couple of weeks, yeah?
Absolutely, Ali. I look forward to that. I'll keep you up to date with everything.
Brilliant, mate. The very best of luck. Take care, pal.
Take care, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ta-da, ta-da. There you go. Thanks for coming on, Graeme. If you get a chance, please follow him on Twitter. He's a fantastic lad and he works tirelessly to get this event together. So, 2 o'clock, Sunday afternoon at Balmoral Stadium at Cove Rangers. If you want to go and see a host of former Aberdeen players, legends in their own right, having a bit of a kickabout and having a lot of fun while raising money for charity, then please do get along. Right, let's open you back up and see how you're all doing again. Okay. Sugarlander says, I think we will all have to be really patient. New boss, but the Euros taking off in 2 weeks. The musical box said the Cash for Kids game should be live on Red TV International. I agree with that. Sugarland has actually said it should be on Red TV in general. Paul Donaldson has said, looks like it'll be a good day. Hope it goes well for everybody. West Coast Don is saying, hi Ali and fellow Dons. Sugarland has said, good to see Kenny Miller in there as well. And Simon Donnelly is also turning out to play for Scotland. Right, so that's all your comments just come in for just now, which means that I can now get our next guest on. So, former Aberdeen defender Zander Diamond, who came up through the youth ranks at Pittodrie and really started to come to the fore under Jimmy Calderwood and Jimmy Nicholl. So Zander has just stepped into what will become hopefully a very successful career in management. He has just been signed up as the new manager of Broomhill Football Club, who play in the lower league. And his agent, funnily enough, interestingly enough, is a chap called Martin McNeil, who is Billy McNeil's son. And Martin has been with him since day one and has been guiding his career. And I said to Zander after the chat that I think what he's doing in terms of his career path is absolutely the right way to go. So I wish him nothing but the very best going forward with the Broomhill. So I caught up with him earlier today to chat about that appointment, about his managerial philosophy, and also about Sunday's game, which he is thoroughly looking forward to. Welcome to the show, Zander Diamond. Good afternoon, fella. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for jumping on. Right, I'm going to dive straight in with you, Zander. First and foremost, many congratulations on your first managerial job with Broomhill. Tell me, how did it all come about?
Thanks very much for having us on, Ali, and thank you for that introduction. It came out of the blue. One of the things that I think it surprised you when it happened. So I took a message from the general manager just asking if he would be up for a discussion. So I said, yeah, no bother. You're always open to. I wasn't going looking for any jobs or anything like that. So as I said, I was quite kind of surprised. And then I went and had a general discussion. So from that, they did say that, if we want to advance it, we'll let you know. So got a couple of days later, and they wanted me to come in for the advance talks, the second part. So I went in with my agent and we sat down for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we started speaking about figures and budgets and what I could bring to the football club. And it was a great conversation. It just felt right. It ticked a lot of boxes for me at this stage in my sort of career. And we even the location of Broomhill, it's well documented that they do play at Dumbarton. So being a Dumbarton lad, so there was it's just sometimes the stars aligned. And I was actually working on the Friday. We did an athletics event with St Aloysius College, and my phone had rang at 4 p.m. and from the general manager George, and he just said, "Listen, we want to take you up, and if you accept the job for us." And from then you were dealing with an excitement and elation. I had a cup final that evening with my local team, St Patrick's, but I still had to go back and manage 50, 60 kids with the elation, so I couldn't really burst out with joy. And but I phoned my wife straight away and said, like, I've been offered it, and there and then I accepted it, because I said, like, I'd already spoken to the staff that I was bringing in, and they were happy with the budgets and could we work with that. So that was all done kind of Thursday night. So Friday was a bit of formality, but if I'm being honest, it was a whirlwind, because you think you're sitting in a house to get the job and you're sitting nice and relaxed. It just happened, and they said deal with the kids, and then I had a cup final at night. So when we actually win the cup final, so the emotions was all over the place. So Friday night was a mixture of physical, mentally, emotionally, tired, but I took a day off on the Saturday, don't get me wrong, and then that was it. Bang at it on the Sunday, and then I got unveiled on the Tuesday evening.
So I guess from now until the beginning of the season, you'll be sort of immersing yourself in everything Lowland League.
Oh, I've always been a kind of admirer of the Lowland League, the way they set up, and obviously the Highland League also with Bucky and things like that. General interest, if you're a football person, you'll kind of know the teams, the players, the management sort of setups and things like that. So you've done your general homework, but when it gets swung upon you, that's when you need to start doing your proper homework and your real homework, because you need to go and you get players. And Broomhill had said it's up to you now with a group of players there, 12 like out of contract. But you look at budgets and things like that. However, you've got your own players and ideas that you want to bring to the club. You analyse straight for the word go, that as soon as it was accepted on the Saturday evening, as I said, they took Saturday kind of off really, but it wasn't off. Your mind was starting to go, and then a case of Sunday introducing yourself to the sort of the staff of the football club, the general people behind the scenes, and we'll probably touch on that later on when we talk about inspiration from ex-managers. But I think it's important that you sort of get to know the dynamics of the football club before even going in, and it's a wee bit of courtesy to the men and the women that are there and lead it before I come in. So everything is just, a notepad's never far from my side, and the pen and all that. But it's great. It's I've probably been in it 9 days now, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. More grey hairs, more sleepless nights, but love it.
Good man. So obviously you're going to be your own man. That's vitally important. Of course it is. But you've during your playing career, you've played. Let's just talk about the two Jimmies, for example. You played under a fantastic manager and fantastic coach, two great people. Is there a part of you, Zander, that wants to take snippets from what you learned from them and take it into your own style of management? Not plagiarize it as much, but turn it into your own.
I think you're correct. You want to be your own man, but I think I said before that coaches and managers are the best thieves out, because we nick wee training sessions and wee snippets and things like that. But ultimately, you want to you mould yourself. However, you can't take away the experience that you had when you were young and you were in the game, even laterally in the game with the managers that I'd worked with. But I think you're right in saying, I think it's well documented that Jimmy Calderwood and Jimmy Nicholl played a huge part in my upbringing and the standards that they guys set when they first walked into the football club. Going touching on the staff, as I said, Jimmy knew everybody, and there was a warmth about it. The staff, you know yourself, the two Jimmies and Latin Sandy, everybody loved it. It was a family affair. He knew all their names. If you look back at the Alex Ferguson thing, he knew every, the receptionist to the groundsmen to the ladies in the canteen and things like that. And Jimmy did that. So that's touching on what I just said there. I think it was important for me to introduce myself to all them. They're the heartbeat of the football club. They're the ones that will make my job that wee bit easier off the field, getting stuff ready and all that. And that was important for me. That's something that I've taken away from probably Jimmy and Jimmy Nick. They did it, you know what I mean, and brought everybody together. I mean, you've got that. When you've got that sort of togetherness and unity straight away, I think the players will go out and perform. You know, there's no coincidence that season, I think we finished the previous season 11th and we ended up, I think, a couple of goals off the third. That was done in a year, but that was all done pre-season. It was all done in the first couple of weeks of the season where we had to wait behind. Boys have said before, you had to wait behind like to 6:15. Boys are like, what to get down the road, what to kind of go out and my family. But that was so Jimmy and Sandy and Jimmy Nichol and their wives and would come in and sit with your parents, your family, your wives, your girlfriends, your kids, and everything like that. And the players' lounge became a warmth. And see, by the end of the season, nobody wanted to go. So the whole shift in there, it was a warmth and it was a great thing. So that's one of the things that I want to take into it. It's approachable, no problem. As a family football club, you want their parents to come and their kids and things like that. So that's off the field stuff. But on the field stuff, you know, with other managers with structure, we're getting your standards straight away. You know, set your stall out straight away because you're not accepting sloppiness. You know, Jimmy's favourite word there was sloppiness. Doesn't accept it. And that's something that I bought into as a young boy, and I still to this day. If you get your standards right and the players buy into that, and again, we're signing all the players, we know the characters we're bringing in, we know the ability they've got. So I believe in myself, but I believe in my coaching network that we're getting a group of players in the field that is going to represent us as a coaching staff. And as I said, time will tell if that happens. But as again, thoroughly enjoying that process of things also.
Mate, the very best of luck. I hope it goes really, really well for you. And obviously, we'll be keeping an eye out. But on Sunday, you're putting your boots back on. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, great. It's my second time going up. I was up last year with the family, and we make a wee weekend of it. It's great getting back up and seeing all the players, even the staff that's worked at the football club, the media. And it's a real warmth, and it's for a great man. You know, I was fortunate enough to work under Craig latterly in my career at Aberdeen, but also snippets, a gentleman, how to structure things, how to manage players. He was excellent in that. But the game itself is brilliant. And I was talking to somebody the other day. It starts off slow. It starts off a wee bit of tippy-tappy and things like that. But then the competitiveness starts. And me being at the back, you don't want any goals going in. Yeah. So when people say, no, let such and such through, or a supporter, it's not like that. You know, there's a great array of players on that. There's, you know, I think I've got Ian in my team, Ian Jess in my team, Lee Muller, Chris Maguire's latterly come into it. So I think we're up against Russell and Kenny Muller's on, Simon Donnelly's in our team. And, you know, it's a great sort of day and occasion. You know, hopefully get the weather. I've kind of scouted the weather, so it's not too bad. I think it's -2, so it's the summer up there. But no, it's a fantastic day, and we make it an event, and as I say, it's for a great cause. And you know, a shout out to Graeme. He's brilliant. You know what I mean? It's like he does a really good job. And fair play to him. It's been going for a number of years. I won last year, so I want to win this year. And he's in the opposite team. So he's got a bit of stick for that. So I don't know if he jumped ship because I think Russell's in his team. So, but he missed a few sitters last year, so he's not going to run away from me. Put it that way.
Brilliant. Mate, listen, have an absolutely fantastic time on Sunday. I really hope you enjoy the occasion. And as I said, the very best of luck with your new job as well. And come on again soon and tell us how you're getting on, yeah?
Will do. Thank you, Ali. Thanks so much.
Cheers, fella. Take care.
Thank you.
There you go, Zander Diamond. Thank you, Zander, for coming on. Right, let's open up the history books. On this day, back in 1953, former Aberdeen fullback Stuart Kennedy was born. Stuart played 333 games for the club between 1976 and 1983, scoring 9 goals. Today, he celebrates his 71st birthday. And on this day in 1992, current Aberdeen number 1, Kelly Roos, was born. Kelly has to date played 90 games for the football club over the past 2 seasons. Today, he is 32. And it remains to be seen whether he will remain our number 1 goalkeeper come the new season. Right, let's see if there's any more comments on. By the way, by the way. Mark Reynolds' quickfire question and answer session is coming up very shortly. It's nearly 15 minutes long, but I think you'll really enjoy it. Some of it was really funny. So hang about, because that's on its way. How good was Stuart Kennedy? Now, I first started supporting the club when Stuart was our number one fullback, and then unfortunately had to retire because of that knee injury that he sustained in Belgium during the second leg of the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final against Waterschei, where his studs caught what was basically the perimeter between the grass and the running track where the stadium was. And unfortunately, despite the best efforts of the doctors and the physiotherapists, Stuart unfortunately never played again. I was lucky enough to watch him play for a couple of seasons. I've seen many videos of him bombing down that right-hand side. And so many of his teammates tell me that he was by far the fittest player at the football club. And so many of the players coming through the ranks used to look up at him. And I think that has gone unnoticed by so many, that he was almost like a father figure, almost like a Teddy Scott. And he used to drive the young players on. He used to drive them forward. He was one of the first players who actually started to understand how important diet was. And he really pushed for the lads to eat healthy, to have healthy lifestyles, and to be as fit as they possibly could. And if you talk to any of his teammates from that era, they'll all tell you exactly the same. An absolutely phenomenal football player. Sadly, he's one chap that I've never actually met. I'd love to meet him one day. So many, many happy returns, Mr. Kennedy. Right, let's see if there's any more comments in while we're at it. Right. All right, there's a few of you on again. So Graeme Klein has said Serbian goalkeeper is highly rated. Barry Cole says, think he's from the same team as Ruby. Neil McDonald has said, oh, wonderful memories. Connorman is on it. If it wasn't obvious before Kelly is officially gone, it's his birthday today and hasn't received wishes from the club like all players do. Mate, that is a very good point and a very interesting one. Can I just let me have a quick look at that? Because I think you're absolutely right. The football club have not wished him a happy birthday. Come on, load up. There we go. No, nothing there. Nothing there. Ticket office. Season tickets. No. Connor. Min. An excellent observation, sir. Very nice. Should we read anything into that? The musical box says, good, I was scared they would have a brainstorm and offer Roos a new contract. Okay. Barry Kohler said his wife is pregnant and wanted back to Holland. I thought he had signed a pre-contract with a club in Holland. Dear me. Barry came back to say Roos's nickname was Dracula because he's petrified of crosses. Boom, boom. Please take my wife. Dave B says Zander, what a character. Oh, he's such a great lad, Zander, honestly. The musical box says Kennedy was born with his boots on. Barry Cole says Kennedy was a great fullback, super quick. Musical box says it was a terrible blow to the club when we lost Kennedy to that injury. He comes back to say, I remember seeing that injury happen and it just seemed bizarre. Sugarland has said a few players describe Stuart Kennedy as the shop steward in the dressing room. Okay. Barry, that's shocking. Deary me. Right, let's get Mark Reynolds on. So, if you've not seen these videos before, this is basically where I ask the lads, it's anything between 10 to half a dozen questions. And the idea is that they can answer the questions as they see fit. So they can answer in quick bursts, one answer, or they can sort of digress and give us an answer where they put context to the question. So, this video or this interview is roughly 13 minutes long. I really hope you enjoy it. It was really, really good fun, and I'm absolutely delighted that Mark agreed to come on the show. So, welcome, making his ABTV debut, is former Aberdeen defender and League Cup winner Mark Reynolds. Mark, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for jumping on. I really hope you've prepared yourself for your quick-fire question and answer session. Right, let's fire in. First question. When you first arrived at Aberdeen, which player impressed you the most in training?
So again, I had a little think about this one because I've been asked this before. And again, the one that jumps out for me was one that Craig Brown actually pointed out, was a young Cammy Smith.
Oh,
so
really?
when I first came to Aberdeen, he was 15 and playing in the first team and mixing it with the boys again, and was one that was kind of earmarked the future. And again, his career maybe never hit the heights that we thought it was going to hit, but as a young boy, he had everything. He was kind of, again, he was a man. He'd already developed physically, was very good on the ball, and was, as I say, a 15-year-old boy that was kind of playing with men and didn't look out of place. And again, that was kind of the highest compliment we could give him at the time. But yeah, Cammy Smith at that age was really, really good, and one that certainly Craig Brown had kind of highlighted to me in my first day is, look, keep an eye on him. We've kind of got high hopes.
Who did you sit beside in the dressing room?
So I don't know if this was a reflection on me or just a reflection of how the change room was, but they actually sat me next to a pillar. So on my right hand side, it was just a pillar, so I couldn't speak to anybody. But on the left hand side, kind of my latter days, was Kenny McLean. So he's the only one I can really remember sitting next to, which probably says a lot about the ones that I previously sat next to. So yeah, Kenny was the one that, so kind of pillar to my right, Kenny to my left. So Kenny was a great lad in and about the changing room. Great player, but one that you really want to have, one of those characters that was always getting involved in everything. And I really kind of set the temperature and kind of the environment of the changing room as well.
What was the best thing about being a captain?
So again, for me, and again, I've thought about this before because it's something that I've kind of obviously worn an armband at several clubs, but the biggest thing and the best thing for me being a captain is just wearing it out on the pitch. I think on a Saturday, which is the most important day of the week, is just getting to lead the boys out and be the one to kind of, as I say, lead them out, especially at a club like Aberdeen, getting to go out and kind of lead those boys out and enjoy the successes we did, and it makes it a little bit special when you're wearing the armband as well.
What's the worst thing about being a captain?
So again, I was never officially a captain at Aberdeen. I was obviously a captain at Dundee United when we get promoted there out the Championship, but I was Russell's vice captain at Aberdeen, and I kind of got to do the best bit of being without actually being a captain. So I got to wear the armband. The worst thing at the captain is probably everything else. Is that all the admin you don't see behind the scenes, is sorting tickets for games, is sorting hospitalities, is getting boys to go to functions, is getting guys to appear at appearances, and just all that kind of general dog's body work. So that's the bit that probably you don't enjoy, but I was lucky at Aberdeen that I got to, for Russell's last year when he was kind of injured, he done all that behind the scenes stuff and was like my PA, and I got to just wear the armband and get all the glory on the pitch.
Favourite pre-match meal?
I know, so again, tough one. Pre-match is probably my most hated meal. And something when I do eventually retire, I will not miss at all. So it changed from day to day or from game to game. Chicken and pasta was always a big one. Again, when you're going down to play a Celtic or a Rangers at 12:30 and you've stayed over in a hotel and it's maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock and you're sitting to a plate of chicken and pasta, it's not as enjoyable as you would hope it would be. Again, towards the kind of later stages of my career, I was more just a bowl of porridge, but a whole porridge with some honey in it and then some fruit and nuts and just all the good things. So I tried to get a bit lighter, but back in the day, I was a standard chicken and pasta, bit of tomato sauce, and we just smashed that in me. But I didn't enjoy it at all.
Okay. Funniest prank that you ever saw during your time at Pittodrie?
So there was a lot of good pranks. Again, I don't know what audience this goes out to, so a few of them probably can't be broadcast, and a few of the guys that partook in the pranks probably don't want their names being associated to it. I'm sure if you search about, you'll find a few of the stories linking about. But one of my favourites was we ended up on, I don't know who it was, but we ended up finding an app on the App Store called Message X, which basically, in a nutshell, you would download the app and it was like £5 a message. You could send a message to a mobile number from any mobile number.
Right.
So I could send you a message from Derek McInnes, and your phone would come up, and if you get his number saved, it would say Derek McInnes has sent you a message, and it would look like he'd sent you a message for all intents and purposes. So we downloaded that app, and for about a month had a great time just messaging boys to go and meet the manager. I mentioned I think it was the time he messaged him to go and meet the chairman in the boardroom because he wanted to resign. Messaged the chairman to say that he needed to speak to him, and it was we just used to see people flying about to the point that all the club phones actually got confiscated. Thought they'd been. So that was again probably the cleanest that I can tell you, and certainly one of the best because we had a bit of fun with that for a good few weeks.
Who had the best car?
I know, so but again, we weren't really big into cars. I think Johnny Hayes was one that always kind of liked these kind of big high-powered Audis. But again, the best car for me, and again, maybe that shows you the boy from Motherwell and then a guy that's an adopted Aberdonian, but Jamie Langfield, when I first signed, had a Mercedes, two-seater Mercedes sports car, GLA or GLC, whatever it was, like a wee fancy wee car. Didn't suit him at all. Lovely car. And I remember asking, like, what's the deal with the car? And it turned out he got the car for £99 a month. So I was always paying for it. So that was my favourite car, purely because I've never seen a car as good that you could get for £99 a month. So I was delighted that he could get that. I tried to get one myself, couldn't get it by. That was the best car I've ever come across, purely because, yeah, it was a nice car, but the bit that appeals to the Motherwell boy in me was it was the cheapest car I'd ever heard of him to get.
Who was the best dancer in a nightclub?
So there's a few. We had a few boys that like to cut a shape, like Adam Rooney. Maybe surprise you. I loved it. A bit awkward, but he could move. So I think he was one that enjoyed getting up and cutting a few shapes.
Cutting a few shapes.
And I'm sure that he'll definitely watch this and he'll definitely message me on the back of this morning that I brought that up.
So who's winning a dance-off? You or Shay Logan?
Again, I've had the pleasure or mispleasure of playing with Shay at two clubs. Shay would win hands down. So again, Shay was probably the only man that would give Adam Rooney a run for his money on the dance floor.
Oh, really?
Shay can move. Shay's got some moves. And it pains me to say that because again, he'll be watching this. And again, Shay's now working offshore.
Yeah.
So I know he'll be showing all his guys offshore that I've backed him up on this, and he'll probably be cutting a few moves offshore and a few of the platforms with the guys.
Talking about Adam Rudy, for his penalty against Inverness in the cup final, did you have your eyes open or shut?
I was an open. Yeah, I was watching him. Again, every faith in him. I think there's one penalty I can remember Adam Rooney missing, and I couldn't even tell you who it was against. It was that infrequent, but I backed Adam. And again, Denny McInnes was always mad when I was taking penalties and practicing. So no, fully backed Adam, fully expecting to score. I think I was on the first ones on his back after he scored because I was that Hawkeye on the penalties.
Was that your most memorable moment in an Aberdeen shirt?
I think it would be. No, absolutely. Again, the 120 minutes that went before that, I've kind of blacked out. Wasn't enjoyable at all. We don't really speak of that, but I think as soon as that ball hit the back of the net, from that moment on for the next week was probably the most enjoyable. And again, just seeing how much it meant to the club, kind of the celebrations after it. Again, the amount of fans we took to Parkhead, the amount of fans that were back at Aberdeen, the amount of fans in Union Street when we paraded the trophy, was amazing. And I think that does stand alone as the best moment in my Aberdeen career.
Were you in line to take a penalty if needed?
So an interesting story. I would say I was. I think if you asked Ed McInnes and Tony Docherty, they'd probably say I was last in line. So again, I don't know if you remember, but Alloa was the team we played in the first round of that cup, and it ended up that I scored the winning penalty to get us through a process of it was between me, Calvin Zola, and Greg. Who else was it? It wasn't Greg Tansey. Can't mind who it was now, but it was basically me and Calvin Zola between the two of us. And Calvin was not having it, so I get pushed forward, scored it, and had said at the final, Denny McInnes was always keen on players wanting to take a penalty, so he would kind of go around and say, "Look, who's interested?" And everybody put a hand up, and I put my hand up, and it kind of just looked straight through me. So it was we'll try and find 5 other guys, and thanks to the volunteer, but we're not going to use you. So to answer your question, long story short, yes, I was in line, but I think I was at the back of the line.
Right. Okay. You scored 7 goals for Aberdeen during your time at the club. What was your particular favourite?
Well, it should be hard because there's not that many to choose from. I'm probably going to say the Real Sociedad. Just became European game, big night. We started that game really well. Scored. I think that actually put us 1-0 up or 2-1 up. with a kind of real impetus, and we felt as though we were going to kind of maybe do something and get a real upset. But that one, I enjoyed that one probably the most, just for the occasion. And again, Real Sociedad are a huge European team as well.
So during your time with Aberdeen, what was the best goal that you saw?
So again, there's been a few. There's a few great goals, but I think the one that probably stands out was James Maddison's free kick against Rangers.
Yeah.
Again, and I think the thing for us was, again, I spoke to a few Aberdeen fans, what with a few Aberdeen fans now who kind of remember the bedlam and the kind of limbs after that went in. But James Maddison practiced that free kick or free kicks after training every day. He would hit 40, 50 free kicks. And again, for me, the thing that I always remember was he would score like 45, 46 out of 50. Like,
Really?
he would not miss. His technique was phenomenal. Like, in terms of technical ability, probably the best player I've ever played with. But practice, repeatability would smash him in. So we would all see him doing that. So when he stepped up against Rangers, we fancied him. That was like a penalty for us because we knew how good he was. But I think you just look at him, the age he was, the occasion, how much he meant to the fans, and again, just the sheer quality. And I mean, it's literally the postage stamp. I think it kisses the crossbar on the post going in the way in. And that would stand alone as probably the best goal that I've seen.
Graeme Shinnie also said he was the technically most gifted player that he played with. Yeah. Okay, who are you winning an argument with? Derek McInnes or the Doc?
I know, so I would always back myself in an argument, but the good thing with Derek and Doc was we never really get into too many arguments. There was never really a winner. We would save our peace and we would always kind of get to a resolution, or we would kind of let it cool down and we'd come back and we'd make sure that we could kind of all said and done, we were all sorted. So again, two great managers, and again, I think perfect timing. You look at the shortlist for manager of the year. I think Derek won it, and Tony Docherty was in the shortlist of 3. So
yeah.
Two great managers, two guys great to in the changing room, great to kind of for me to work under. And again, maybe that's part of the success. There wasn't really, certainly between me, there wasn't really many two arguments. A lot of disagreements, a lot of kind of not agreeing on things, or again, certainly with me wanting to play more than I was maybe it was then. But we always kind of got a resolution, so there was never really a need to be a winner. But I think if you asked Derek or Doc, they would always back themselves. So I'm going to back me and say I'd probably beat them both comfortably in an argument.
Okay, right, fella. Final question, and probably the most important one you will ever face. So, Bad Boys Inc. or the Backstreet Boys?
So.
It's
a tough question. I think I am one of the only ones maybe you've interviewed that these came at different times in my life. So Backstreet Boys came when I was like 11, 12, 96, 97.
Oh God, now you make me feel old.
So I think you came 93, 92, 93, 94 maybe. So I was just about
Correct.
6 or 7. So I think on the basis that as a 6-7-year-old I wasn't really into my pop, but as a 10, 11, 12-year-old, Backstreet Boys were out there. So unfortunately, and I know you were telling me before we came on that things haven't been going great, but I'm going to go with the Backstreet Boys.
I can't believe it. What a way to finish, fella. I can't believe it.
These were a close second. Few great songs. I did go and listen. I've downloaded a few of your songs. So if you
have you?
A few of your Spotify's went up by one listener. That'll be me.
Excellent. Excellent. That'll add 0.0001 penny in the pound to my royalties for this year.
Yeah, I'll keep listening. I'll try and get that up to at least 5p.
Mate, top man. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Ali. Thank you.
All right, fella. Take care. Mark. What an extremely disappointing way to end the interview. I'm sure you'll agree. I'm sure you will agree. Right. Lots more comments coming in. Okay. Let's see where we are. Connorman came back because he noticed that the football club hadn't wished Kelly Roos a happy birthday today. And he said, where is it? I lost it. Where is it? He said, I'm quite chuffed for finding that out. You should be, mate. Brilliant. Barry Reid said, spoke really well, Zander. Paul Donaldson said, is Mark still playing at Cove Rangers nowadays? And a lot of you have answered his question. So he's just been released. Be interesting to see what he does next. Neil McDonald said, because we were talking about Stuart Kennedy earlier, how much he loved him. Baz Strachan has said, Considine to Cove for next season, maybe a replacement for Mark. Yeah, because Andrew got released by St Johnstone. So Graham Klein has said, just reading someone on X thinking that Aberdeen have approached Matt Ritchie on a free. So Matt Ritchie has just been released by Newcastle, 34 years old. Barry Cole makes a good point. He says he would be a great signing, but the musical box says can't see it purely from a wages point of view. Yeah, a lot of you are saying, 34 years old. But some of you, Barry in particular, has reminded everyone that Junior Hoylett is only 32 or 33. Sugarland is saying the decision is up to Yimmy with Hoylett. I want him to stay too, but let's remember we have a new regime coming in with fast-moving football. Graeme Klein said the complaints is not having leaders in the dressing room may have something to do with it, plus a number of older players moving on. If they fit the new manager's system, it's a different story. Musical Box said counter-attacking football, not sure how that will work against sides that sit in. Graeme Klein has just confirmed that Junior Hoylett will be 34 on the 5th of June. Baz Strachan has asked, did everyone see the goal that Yimmy's team scored last week that was doing the rounds on socials? Cracking team goal, and can only hope we see the likes of that at Pittodrie soon. Yeah, it was a fantastic goal scored by Elfsborg. Just literally started it right from the back. Boom, 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 boom. Up we go. The musical box. Don't give me that patter, fella. Don't give me that. And don't pretend that you don't know. There we go. Right, chaps and chapesses. We are all done. We've done we've just done over 50 minutes. So thank you so much for coming on. I really hope you enjoyed the magazine show. So just to let you know, don't forget, by the way, press the old like button. It just helps massively with the algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'd be absolutely thrilled if you would please consider jumping on board. Just press the subscribe button. All it does is just give you notifications of all the shows that are coming up on ABTV. Doesn't cost you anything at all. It's just literally the press of a button. So please consider subscribing. I'd be absolutely thrilled if you wouldn't mind. So as I said, nothing next week because I'm going in for the second part of my surgery on Monday. So I'm going to be out for it for the entire week. But then hopefully we will be back the week after with another main stand review show, magazine type show. So I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the concept. I really hope you liked the new title sequence at the top of the show as well. So guys, thank you so much for being with us. Have an absolutely brilliant weekend. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in about a fortnight. Take care. Bye for now. Stand free.